Okay, good evening, student. So let's get started with the lecture for tonight. Okay, and so let me see which one. Okay, if you remember last time, I mentioned to you about the function of the audio tools, which is the Audacity. And again, this software can be downloaded free of charge. Okay, just a moment. Okay, you can download this software from their official website, and then you can experience how you can manipulate with their audio files using the tools that I mentioned in the notes. But I think we have another platform that look more user friendly, and we will try later on. And again, if you remember last time in our face-to-face lesson, you did the final uh, image, not the photo retouching has been completed. And then remember last time you did the vector graphics exercise. Okay, and tonight we'll continue with the vector graphic exercise as well. Okay, so that the vector graphic um, exercise will be completed. Okay, and then for the next lessons, when I see you again, and we will have the audio editing exercise together. And okay, let's take a look at the example there. Okay, so I remember okay, I for sure that I update you. I mentioned this to here, and if you take a look at the examples over there, and you may aware that the CD quality is 16-bit, and if you remember, I mentioned to you that the reason why the sampling rate is 44.1 kilohertz during my last lessons, because our the human audio frequency would be 20, and then according to like Chris Freeland, and the sampling frequency would be double, and then 40. But in order to uh, deal with those I mean the people with sensitive hearing, and then the sampling frequency would be a little bit higher, and then so that the quality of the music and will be better. So therefore, you may notice that the CD quality is 44.1 kilohertz, and it becomes the standard for most of the uh, recording or the audio, etc. But it doesn't mean that uh, low frequency will be obsolete or rejected. because it depends on the channel of communication. For example, if you look at the okay, one more thing I would like to mention is the mono channel as well as the stereo channel. So stereo means two channel, and mono means one channel. So therefore, we have 16 and 8 difference. Okay, but I'm for sure that nowadays will be lucky because most of the audio file, even your phone or headphone, will provide you the stereo features. Unless very low quality audios, they will have the mono channel, the 8-bit. And if you look at the frequency rate below, and you may notice that uh, uh, some of the sound will have the low frequency rate as well as mono channel, something like this, because of the connection limitation. Just like the last one, if you look at the telephone connection, which means the traditional um, wire uh, telephone, okay, not our wireless telephone. So I'm for sure that most of the people around the world has already canceled out the home telephone service. But in the past, because of the limitation of the cable wire as well as the transmission speed and uh, the quality of the sound cannot be improved, and therefore the only way is to use mono channel together with the low sampling frequency, so that the audio communication for telephone would be maintained. Okay, anyway, let's take a look at the MIDI audios. Okay, so this is something people are really concerned because how we can make use of the computer or the digital equipment in order to produce the sound. So therefore, in 1980s, and we have this kind of standard MIDI and MIDI, and this is the standard for the computer system to generate the sound. But again, nowadays is really important because in terms of the music composition, and we have the digital keyboard, okay, and or you may say the digital piano, and they already have the computer connection to, so that when someone compose the music piece, and all the notes as well as the chords, okay, something like this will be recorded directly on the screen. So therefore, it's really convenience for the musician or pianist to compose the music immediately, saving the time. And this is an example of the software called Sibelius, okay, Sibelius. And I think this one would be for Mac, etc. And we have some other tools we call the sequencer. Okay, sequencer. This one is also for handling the audios or music. So if you look at the photo there, I'm not too sure whether you have all the equipment apart from the computer. Maybe you need a headphone or the speaker so that the quality of the music would be better. So anyway, let's take a look at the MIDI. Okay, so MIDI actually has certain advantage over the digital audio. So as we all know that digital audio means that we try to uh, do the audio recording using the microphone, so that the original audio, the VD, original analog audio, okay, will be represent approximate by means of the sampling, and depending on the levels we call the quantization levels, and you will also represent the degree of quality, and and this kind of digital audios no matter the way that we use to compress, right? But still the digital audio is still big in size. But when it comes to the MIDI, it's a kind of um, digital signal that um, you may say it's a kind of just like the vector graphics. Okay, is a kind of signal that is more small in size, okay, compared with the digital audio, just like the vector graphics as well as the JPEG. Okay, and even though they represent the same media, okay, but in terms of the size, okay, and they are different. So therefore, you can take a look at the advantage of MIDI. Okay, MIDI files are much more compact than digital audio files, and the size of a MIDI file is completely independent of the playback quality. Okay. And as we all know that the digital audio, depending on the sampling frequency, as well as the quantization level, I mean the bits, okay, 16 bits, 8 bits, etc. And then you represent the quality, but for the MIDI, okay, and it's not like that. Okay, just a moment. Okay, maybe let's take a look at some MIDI the okay samples, okay, and see if I can find you some. Okay, maybe it can be found somewhere from here. So let me see if I can hear. Okay. Okay, let me play a little bit. Okay, and see if you can hear. Okay.
Hello, guys and gals. Well,
can you hear? Can you hear? Okay, thank you. Okay, I will play a little bit. Okay, and see if the okay there will be some demonstration. Okay.
welcome back. This is one of those beginner tips that's either going to be really obvious to you or it's going to blow your mind. When you've been doing things as long as I have, it's really hard to put yourself back in the beginner's shoes. And it's really easy to forget that some things I take for granted every day, some people might not know. And I was chatting to a DJ friend of mine who's getting into production, and I realized from the way they were talking that in DJ world, they don't really talk about the difference between MIDI and samples very much. So here we are, samples versus MIDI. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a audio sample here and we've got a MIDI clip as well. I'll show you the audio sample first. We've got a synth stab. And I'll show you the MIDI. Here's what the MIDI sounds like. Did you catch that? I'll play it again for you. That's right. MIDI sounds an awful lot like silence, doesn't it? That's because MIDI has no sound. MIDI is just trigger data. These are just data entry points on a grid. They don't have any sound. They're supposed to trigger sounds. That's what MIDI is for. So by itself, MIDI has no sound. Let's use it to trigger a sound, like this synth, for example. Here's our audio. This is the audio version. This is me triggering the synth patch, which is, as you obviously probably guessed, Vital. So first things first, if anyone tells you one is higher quality than the other, incorrect. So don't let anyone tell you to convert your MIDI to audio to improve the quality. That's not why you would do that. There are reasons to use one over the other, though. Let's go through some reasons for each one. So with the audio, we can do things like, we got a filter here. But you can do that with the audio resulting from the MIDI trigger as well. Because once it's in the audio domain, obviously you can affect it as audio, just like you would a sample. So what can't you do with MIDI? Well, you can't do things like reverse. Now, of course, there are audio effects which can sample and then reverse the sample on the fly. But in terms of being able to manipulate what's here, there's nothing I can do to this MIDI that's going to give us a reverse sound. The reverse has to be done in the audio domain. Another thing you can't really do in MIDI very well is, for example, stutters. Like, let me do this kind of thing. If I do this in MIDI, the notes are repeating, but you're not getting the cutoff of the reverb and the delays. You're not getting the true restart because the synth is just triggering as if it was being played faster, which isn't the same as chopping up the audio and starting it again, etc. That's a different effect. Listen.
Sure, I think okay. So here is the audio that you can watch later on, and I'm for sure that it is quite interesting for you to compare the actual digital audio using sampling, compare with the MIDI, okay, which is a kind of synthesized of sound, okay, and again, nowadays we have quite a lot of musical instrument when we uh, do the recording, and it will be converted into MIDI format. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look. Okay, in general, okay, the MIDI files will be 200 to 1000 times smaller than CD quality digital audio files, just like you compare the JPEG image files with the vector graphics. Okay, so that's the difference. And again, the MIDI, okay, the size is small and it doesn't take too much space and bandwidth. So therefore, if we transmit this kind of music through the internet or wireless, okay, platform, and it would be quite convenient. So again, if you look at watch the video, it mentioned to you that the MIDI files or even the signal is a little bit difference because it just simply represents the pitch as well as the length of the notes. Okay, so therefore, it's not a car recording, and but if you watch the video, the speaker there also mentioned about that you can't reverse playback of the MIDI, and you can, of course, you can make use of the tools like Audacity in order to play the sound or music in reverse direction. Okay? But when it comes to MIDI, okay, This is not the original song. Okay, and again the MIDI files is quite uh, digital and is related to certain informatics. Okay, so therefore, it's quite easy for us to do what we call the editing or scripting. Okay, but when it comes to the feeling or of listening to the sound quality, if you watch a video again, you may notice that the traditional digital audio recorded from our surrounding or heard from the singer would be much better. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at some disadvantage related to the MIDI. So MIDI is a kind of signal in terms of the pitch as well as the length. So therefore, it does not represent the, the sound is a kind of signal information. Okay. Um, okay. But you may say that it can represent a certain kind of musical instrument. But nowadays, as we all know that our musical, especially digital musical instrument, they allow us to choose different instrument to play the same notes, okay, or chords. So therefore, uh, uh, you may notice that as long as we have the digital sound there, and then is there's something regardless of the musical instrument itself. Okay, if you have the digital piano or a digital keyboard at home, and you know what I mean. Okay, you can choose any instrument you like. Okay, as the playback. Okay. So another important thing is that the MIDI usually has the advantage of reproducing the music notes. But when it comes to the spoken dialogue, just like our conversation, it seems that MIDI is difficult to do because our spoken language or our voice it has different tones or different um, um, just like my speaking there, and I have my own characteristic that the MIDI is unable to reproduce. Okay, and but anyway, that's something just for information. Okay, but again, nowadays the digital audio becomes one of the important trend. As you all know that people around the world love music. So that's why before we have the smartphone, I mean iPhone, etc., we have a very powerful um, playback device, just like I think I don't know whether you know this one. Okay, so let me show you an important device uh, nowadays. Okay, and which is okay, let me see if I can find you. Uh, okay, this one. Okay, let me see if this one is okay. So this video will let you know one of the most successful device uh, based on the digital audios, especially the digital music that people love. And no matter the singer or the pop star that you like, and again, the music would be one of the common platform for everyone around the world um, to listen. No matter the purpose of listening music for relax or wherever. Okay, but it would be uh, very successful product. Okay, I mean the MP3 player, but it would be good for you to take a look at the trend quickly here.
Almost 1,000 of tracks in your pocket at a time. But Gadget Show presenter of the day, Adrian Simpson, had a very important question to ask.
If you're thinking about buying an MP3 player, is this the one you should go for?
Turns out it was. The iPod went on to sell 14 million units in 2004 alone, something another of my predecessors, Tom Dunmore, gave reason for.
Now it's easier than ever to get hold of digital music, and that's thanks to the arrival of iTunes.
But MP3 software didn't start with iTunes. It was another offering that kickstarted the digital music downloads era.
Napster. The problem with Napster was that it was a bit dodgy. All right, it was very dodgy.
Dodgy because the music was illegally shared and therefore free. Unsurprisingly, Napster got shut down, but they soon came back with a legal service matching iTunes' 99p a track model. But that wasn't the only similarity.
Napster's got together with Samsung to produce the Napster Pod. Looks kind of familiar, huh?
Apple kept innovating. The click wheel in the iPod mini made searching for tunes easier than ever. But rival Sony were also breaking boundaries.
Now they've launched a Walkman phone. The phone holds up to 150 songs on a 512 meg removable memory card.
But dedicated MP3 players had also upped their game, and by Series 4, many manufacturers started to offer more than just music.
You can watch videos on both the Creative and the iPod. But side by side, the Creative's screen quality stands out and has a better battery.
Download sites were also on the up. Even supermarkets were trying to get a slice of the action. But the real innovation came with the introduction of music subscriptions.
Whippet is a British download site. For £50, you can subscribe and download up to 60,000 songs.
Over the next few years, the MP3 hardware war really started to hot up, as did John's testing.
Right, we're off with the new Nano. Let's switch it on. Music. Good.
And by 2007, MP3 playing phones had started to flood the market. So John got his Bangra on and tested 3 of the best with DJs Bobby Friction and Nahal. That test resulted in another win for the Sony Walkman phone. But Apple fought back with this.
Music functionality of the iPod Touch is obviously one of its biggest selling points. I just love the way it's been implemented.
iPod Touch was basically an iPhone, but without calls and text. It wasn't the only big screen player around, though. Remember Arcos?
You can get a 160 gig version. The maximum iPod Touch only goes up to 16 gigs.
By Series 8 and 2008, the iPod dominance peaked with over 50 million sold in that year alone. But when it came to iTunes, new rivals threatened.
Instead of paying to download and keep your songs, you pay for a service that streams music live over the internet.
A concept that impressed guest tester and Radio 1 DJ Joe Wiley.
The idea that you can just sit there in your office or at your home on your computer all the time and have all this music at your disposal, it's just brilliant. Really, really exciting prospect.
A prospect that has shaped how we listen to music to this very day. As streaming sent the music world into a spin and smartphones took off, MP3 player sales stalled, despite Apple's launching a touchscreen iPod Nano in 2011. And when Rachel Riley joined in 2013, MP3 players were specialist devices great for the gym.
It's just how lightweight these things are. I mean, I can't even feel like I've got anything on my head.
And as Olympian Mark Foster found, the pool.
The sound is good. I like the fact that you can hear the music and the water.
And by 2016, the last bastion of the iPod was lost, where the iPhone cut its headphone port and those iconic white cords were ditched in favour of a wireless future.
Oh, I'm experiencing the groove.
Back in 2001, when Steve Jobs launched the iPod, he said listening to music will never be the same again. And you know what? I think he was right.
tune comes.
Okay, and you may notice that there is a very good video for you to know the development of the corresponding product, which is MP3 player, as well as the um, uh, sharing of the digital audio online through the Napster, which damaged the music industry around the world. But fortunately, we have the Apple iTunes that helped the music industry to make money and tackle the issue of the violation of the uh, piracy, okay, or the intellectual properties, okay. And again, there are quite a lot of channels that you can listen to music, okay. But we have quite a lot of the platform that we can play or listen to music, and we have quite a lot of format nowadays for the digital audio. And of course, MIDI is something related to to the musical instrument, for example, keyboard, okay, or some other instrument for audio production. Okay, so here comes some interesting calculation for you, and okay, so let's take a look at how we can estimate the size of the audio file. So if you remember, I mentioned to you that the size of the digital audio would be really big, and let's see how big it is. So if you look at the formula there, we will need to check the rate of the the rate of the sampling rate, okay, the duration of the music or audio, the resolution, okay, whether it is 16 bits and the number of channel 1 or 2. And then once we have everything, 1 minute, okay, 44.1 kilohertz times this one, okay, and let me do the mathematics here. So you can take a look, okay. We have six. You have to change the minute into second times, okay, 4410. So you need to turn the kilo. Kilo means 1000, and then times 16 times 2. Okay, so we have the number of bits, okay, for this 1 minute of music, and then we divide this by 8 bits so that we can have the byte there. Okay. 10 million of byte of the data required for 1 minute of music. Right? So it's really terrible. And this kind of files we call the WAV file. WAV. So when you are doing the recording with your phone, and you may notice that you can choose WAV as well. But usually the default setting for audio recording would be MP3, you know. And I'm not too sure we have the recorder there. Okay, we have this one, okay, window recorder. So I'm not too sure whether you do the recording using this kind of tools. I'm for sure that in your window and in your Mac, you should have this kind of the basic application with you. Let me do some recording here. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when I stop the recording there, I will have the recording here, and let me see if this one can be. So in the past, we need to provide the file name as well as the. Okay, let me see where it is. Okay, here comes the files that I have. Okay, let me see the file type there. Okay, let me see the file types. So this one is M4A, okay? MP4 audio files. This one is compressed file. Compressed file. Okay. So if you take a look at my recording there, and let me do a very quick calculation with you. Okay, here we have almost 7 seconds. Look at my screen here. Here, 7 seconds. Okay. So according to the calculation there, okay, I'm using the rate would be 44100 times 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Okay, I'm using 2 channels. So therefore, according to the original calculation, it should be 9 million bits. Okay, let me divide it by 8 so that I know the byte. So this is 1 megabyte for my 7 seconds of recording. 1 meg, okay, 1 megabyte of the data use, you know. And so let me show you something here. So I have just do the calculation there, 44100 times 7 seconds times 16. This times 2 channel divided by 8, and then I have 1234800 bytes. Okay, and this one, okay, you can simply think that this one is megabyte. Okay, so let me compare this, okay, theoretically with the actual size here. So if you look at the actual size of my recording, and it's just so it's something like this. Okay, this one is the M4A format. Okay. Okay, of course this one is compressed. Okay, and this one is the original WAV format. Okay. Of course this one is uncompressed, you know. And then if I do 7 second recording and send it to you, and it takes a couple of seconds so that you can receive. Okay, but if we can use the compressed version, and then it can take shorter. So let me do something more. Okay, to calculate a little bit with the ratio. Okay, so 32768 divided by 1234800, and then the compression, okay, the ratio would be 0.026. Okay, so that means at the end of the compression, the file size is just okay 2.7% of the original size. Okay, so you can see how compression is really important in helping us to reduce the size of the files. But anyway, again, at the end of the calculation, which is the original size of WAV files. And again, for traditional Mac OS, okay, at the end of the recording, and the files will be AIF. And if you are using Mac computer, you can double check whether the new version of Mac computer will save the files in this format. So here comes the example of finding the system sound. in your computer, and these sounds are generated using MIDI, and the files there is small, And again, this kind of sounds is used to acknowledge people the computer is turning on or turning off. And again, this kind of sound is really important to disable. If someone has problem with the vision, they can't see, and then maybe the sound would be useful to tell them the computer is turning on, turning off. So anyway, let's take a look at the basic table here, and it just compare some common audios that we may receive from different company. For example, I mentioned to you about the digital or the telephone that we are using in the past is 8 kilohertz, mono channel, and bits, per sample is just 8 bits, very poor quality. But when it comes to the audio radio, I'm for sure that you seldom visit this one, RTHK. Okay, so do you visit this website? This website basically provide us quite a lot of audios files to listen. Okay, this one is the TV channel. I'm for sure that there may be something to watch, but when it comes to here, radio 1, okay, so this the audio channel, and nowadays the taxi driver, they may need to listen to this. In the past, it's really popular, at the moment, because it's 7:45, okay, a quarter to 8 o'clock, and it's still the radio channel for this one, jiaofeng. Okay. As far as I know, there are not many students will visit this website to listen the radio. But to be honest, in the past, it's really important to anyone, even me, because when I study in the past, I like listening to the radio, because the radio, the DJ, the DJ will play some music, so that you will be good, for studying, somehow. Let me show you something which is it should be live streaming,
呢方面咧，都係仍然我哋講嘅優先次序咧係未。
Okay, so there's the radio 1. Okay. Nowadays, it's quite convenient, because in the past, if you want to listen to all radio, we need to buy the maybe we need a phone with the antenna, okay, tin scene, in order to receive the radio signal, And let me see this one, okay. So this one is a channel for our circle. So you may notice that radio, usually the radio channel may allow the DJ to play music. So therefore, it's good if you love listening music, and if you love the DJ, okay, you can also see which channel you like to listen. And again, is even though the RTHK or some other 商业电台 they are not the major media for the society, okay? But I'm for sure that in the past is quite famous and popular. Anyway, the AM and FM means different frequency, you know, different frequency. And okay, there are different technical method of transmitting the radio signal. Okay, AM means amplitude modulation, FM means frequency modulation. And to be honest, if you compare the sampling rate compared with the bit rate, do you know which one is better? Do you know which one is better in quality? Take a look at the table. Do you know which one is better in quality?估唔估到邊個質素好啲？And again, it would be quite obvious, okay, if you look at the sampling rate, okay, higher sampling rate for FM, higher bit rate for the sample, and the channel stereo. So that means FM radio would be much better. But I think nowadays everything becomes online, becomes digitized, and the quality of AM and FM will be the same, you know. But you know, for AM radio, there are certain channel they predefined, name for the channel, and FM we have another channel, and it's a kind of tradition channel. I don't think that they will close the channel, okay, and they will keep the channel even though the technology has been changed nowadays. Okay, and here comes the CD audio, okay, and I'm not too sure whether you buy any CD because it's quite expensive. Okay, any CD to buy? Okay, so let me find. So I can't recall any singer, okay, but I hardly can I find this name, okay, and I'm not too sure whether there's a CD for the local singer, but somehow if you go to the music shop in Hong Kong, and you can still find some. Right? I have quite a lot of CD at home, but I seldom play it again because it's not that convenient to put the CD into somewhere, and all the CD player at home are damaged. I don't have any CD player at home to play any music. But before my CD player is damaged, and I convert all the CD into MP3, saving in my computer. Okay, so that's something that I did, okay, before. Okay, no more CD player. So therefore, I think all of you are very young, and you may not need the CD anymore unless you love the singer a lot, and then you want to support the singer so that you buy a CD. Anyway, that's something for information. And again, the quality depends on the bits that we are using, and also the sampling frequency. And again, the 44.1 kilohertz together with 16 bits would be a good choice. But I'm not too sure whether you hear about golden CD. Okay, so we have some CD. Okay, it claims that it's golden, and the quality is up to 24 bits. So this kind of CD is not that common unless the music company want to launch a special edition for certain people, singer, etc. And they will have what they call the golden CD, 24 bits. Uh, in fact, it's not really necessary to have the golden color, but the music company want to highlight this CD is special, expensive, good to buy, something like this, and therefore they change the color to golden. So don't think that 24-bit CD must require golden color. It can be any color. Okay, I think you can find some CD at home as well. Okay, if you ask your parents. Okay? And again, the file size would be very big if you take a look at different sampling frequency. Okay, so according to the notes there, we are comparing the different file size of different sampling frequency as well as the sampling bits, and then we have the following file size. So 5 minutes. What does that mean? 5 minutes means uh, a typical song duration by most of the singers. If you take a look at the audio files duration, or if you have CD on hand, you can look at the duration of each song performed by a singer. Usually, the length would be 10 minutes. And again, it really depends on the channel that you use. Okay, monophonic recording, just one channel, and studio recording would be two channels. So again, we have some examples over there. Okay, one channel and two channel. Okay, and then um, where the result would be totally different. And if you look at the frequency, okay, low frequency, high sampling frequency, and may result in different size. Okay, so here comes the exercise for you to practice a little bit. Maybe I give you, let me see. Okay, so this. Okay, maybe we okay have a break. Okay, okay, of 15 minutes. Okay, and then okay, try out the exercise. Okay, and then let's come back. Okay, continue with the rest of the notes. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so the calculation there. So exercise 1A. So the size can be calculated using the frequency times time times speed, okay, times channel divided by 8, okay, and therefore the size would be okay. So that's the answer for the first questions, and for exercise 1B, okay, the size is also the same. Okay, I mean the same method of calculation. So you must be careful about the conversion of minute into second. And then we have the 24 bits, okay, and 2 channel, and then divided by 8. Okay, and we have exercise 1C. The size, okay, would be 48 kilohertz. So you may notice that we have even higher frequency for the sampling. And if you ask whether there is audio or music with this frequency, seems to be happens before by some music company that they want to make a very high quality of digital audio or digital audio CD, okay, for hi-fi system, because some people love hi-fi system. They want the digital music quality could be even higher, because the hi-fi system can play, okay, very high frequency of the digital music. So therefore, if the music quality is sampling frequency is even higher, and then the system can be fully uh, utilized, Anyway, let's take a look. And we have 5 minutes times 60 seconds, and then we have 60 bits there to channel. So the unit would be bytes, And then we have 1D there, size 44100 times 10 times 16 times 8 bits times 1 divided by 8. Okay, so this are the answer for the calculation. Okay, and see if your answer is correct. Okay, so let's move on. So in terms of the audio file format, so I just mentioned to you that for Mac OS, traditionally they adopt AIFF, and now they may have some other format as well. But for Windows, they may make use of the WAV. All these are the traditional audio format. But again, these audio format may result in very big file. I've just illustrated to you using the recorder, audio recorder provided by Windows, and do the recording. But fortunately, the recorder can provide the compression so that the file size is further reduced. And again, there are certain websites that allow us to do the audio conversion. Many of the common audio format can be handled by a website, say WooTech, okay? Or you can find quite a lot of the website that provide free conversion for us. And here comes MP3. So MP3 format was developed by the Moving Picture Expert Group, the MPEG, and the MP3 actually developed, introduced in 1990, and the method of the decompression is by means of the lossy compression, which means that if you do the recording and then you want to compress, and then the algorithm there will uh, distort the quality of your audio, even though the file size can be reduced. But again, um, in order to make the file size smaller for communication or sending or receiving, and we have a certain trade-off. So therefore, MP3 would be a trade-off, okay, in terms of the size against the quality, And for traditional audio CD, the length, the duration for storing the music or the sound, okay, would be about 70 minutes, okay, or sometimes it may hold an hour. It really depends, because you may not use the entire 70 minutes, and sometimes we need uh, uh, the beginning track and the ending track of the audio CD for additional information. So therefore, uh, even though typical audio CD may uh, store up to 70 minutes of the audio, but we usually use an hour or even smaller. So if you have certain singer CD on hand, and then you can check the number of songs, usually 10 songs, and then each songs may last for 5 minutes. So therefore, the entire CD edition usually is about 15 minutes. So here comes the MP3. If you take a look at the audio file size, you may notice that the macOS AIFF file size is 85 megabyte, and for other format FLAC, which is 83 megabyte. Okay, and for Apple lossless compression, and is about 40 megabyte. And when it comes to MP3, we have two different versions of the MP3 depending on the bit rate, okay, that you have chosen. We have 320 kilo hertz, okay, and we have the 192, okay. This one should be kilobit per second, okay? Or you may say kilohertz. And then the lower the frequency, the lower the sampling rate, the poorer the quality. But um, uh, the file size would be even smaller. That's the benefit. And if you have the CD on hand, and you can play using computer, and then usually many of the music player in computer allows you to convert the CD into MP3 automatically. And you can also choose the quality of the MP3 generated. If you choose 320 kilobits per second, and the quality will be the best. And if you choose 192 kilobits per second, this one is really typical common one. And take a look at the diagram there. We have quite a lot of audio formats around the world or in the market, and we have the categorization like this. So, for example, we have MP3 on the left-hand side. Okay, this one is lossy, and for the WAV, Okay, even though the I mentioned to you is a kind of lossless, okay, uncompressed version. Okay, you can see we have uncompressed version of WAV below, and we also have the other version we call the WAV lossy version at the top. It really depends on who provide the WAV format for you for recording, and maybe sometimes there will be certain variation for different platform or application. So therefore, in this diagram, there may be something repeated on both sides of the uh, region. So again, if you want to have small size, you need to choose the format which is the yellow one. And if you want to preserve the quality, you need to choose the lossless area of music format. Okay, again, here comes the file size, okay, for different music format, and therefore MP3 would be the winner. But if you take a look at the console audio bit rate, okay, so what does that mean? The audio bit rate defines the amount of data that's stored in the sound files you are listening. And you can also notice that each of the audio file has a bit rate associated with it. And the bit rate actually means the amount of data or bits being sent in 1 second. And if you take a look at the example there, so I just mentioned to you that this 128, 192, or even 330 are the bit rate, okay? And it's the basic unit would be bit per second, okay? And usually it comes with the kilo. And again, if you want to have higher quality of audio signal or audio music, and the bitrate there would be higher. The higher the bitrate, the better the quality. So okay, let me show you something, okay, and see if you can listen the difference. Okay, it really depends on your hearing. Maybe sometimes someone hear better. Okay, maybe someone uh, uh, do not find any difference at all. Okay, so you can take a look.
So
Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, so let me get back to here, and I'm not too sure whether you can identify the difference between. Okay, I'm not too sure whether you can identify the difference between different bit rate. Okay, the higher the bit rate and the better the quality, and it also depends on uh, your hearing sensitivities. Don't worry too much about that. Some people may have good hearing, but some of them may not that good at hearing the sound. I'm for sure that one thing is that if you love playing music, or if you like playing musical instrument, and your hearing technique would be much better than others. Okay, and if you okay, I'm not too sure whether you like playing piano or violin, okay? But and you should know the difference. It doesn't matter. They just let you experience a little bit. Okay, let's get back to here. So this part is the last part for the lecture related to the calculation, including the compression um, uh, issues. So as you all know that we know how to calculate this part. Okay? But how about the compression? If there's compression, what should we do? So according to the questions there, the MP3 format is able to, you know, to have the 80% reduction. So how can we know the exact MP3 file size? So at first we need to calculate the original file size based on the bit rate, based on the quality, something like this. And then given we have 80% reduction, that means we can 1 minus 80%, and then we can come up with such a small size of bytes, okay, for the MP3. And okay, let me give you okay, okay, maybe 10 minutes, okay, okay, 10 minutes to do, okay, okay. Okay, let's take a look at the answer here. Okay, exercise 2A. Okay, the answer there would be original size. Okay, original size would be 11,000 times 42nd times 8 bits. Okay, times 1. Okay, divided by 8, and then we have bytes there, and the compressed size, okay, would be this one. Okay, okay, times 1 minus 90%. Okay, so this the answer for the first questions, and we have 2B there. So the original size would be 44.1. Okay, this one times 2 times 60 second times 34 bits, okay, times 2. Okay, divided by 8, and then times 1 minus 0.85. So this the okay, sorry, this one is the original size, and the compressed size would be this one times 1 minus something like this. So for exercise 2C, so the original size would be 48,000 times 5 times 60 second times 60 bits times 2 divided by 8, and the compressed size would be this one times 1 minus 0. This one twice, and finally we have 2D. Original size would be 44100 times 10 times 60 times 8 times 1 divided by 8 twice, and then the compressed size would be this one, and then times 1 minus 0.8. So that's the answer for the exercise. Okay, so you can take a look at the chat box, and I have put the answer over there. Okay, let's move on to here. So again, apart from the MP3, different companies try to develop their own compressed version of the audio files format. An obvious example from Windows would be WMA, and we have another open source uh, files we call OGG. Okay, this one is also very popular nowadays in using HTML, you know. And regarding the Apple, they also introduced the compressed version of video, okay, and it's called the MOV, okay. And for the video there, we have a compressed version of MP4, okay, MP4, you know. But the problem is, if you remember the video I showed you just before, it mentioned to you that the MP3, I mean the audio music, uh, has piracy problem. That means people try to make a copy of it, okay, without paying, and then the music industry suffer a lot. So therefore, how we can protect uh, the music industry so that no piracy violation, and opposed to protect this kind of multimedia content is to make use of the technology we call it DRM. So the DRM is a technology that embed some license information within the MP3 or even the MP4, uh, so that those files, uh, when you purchase, okay, that means you pay for it, you download it, and then the music will be yours and you can't share. So that's one of the approach that can protect the multimedia nowadays, and it's quite useful. And again, we have some other formats like AAC, okay, and there's also one of the uh, format, okay, which is part of the MP4. Okay, and the AAC format is also adopted by Apple side too. So therefore, if you're using MacBook, you may notice that there is ACC format as well. So the ACC form, I think this one they may have typos. It should be not AAC, but it should be not ACC, but it should be AAC. You know? And this kind of format is widely adopted by different product and company. Okay? And I'm for sure that you may have some of these uh, device, okay, at home. So again, how we can play this kind of compressed video or audio, we need the software we call the codec. Codec, the full name is compressor decompressor. An obvious example, uh, we call the K-Lite codec. Okay, this is the software that you can download from the website FileHippo. FileHippo is a website that uh, provide a platform for different software to share. No matter the software is free of charge or freeware, shareware, or even you need to pay for it. You can find those software over there. And FileHippo is a very clean website, and it does not contain any virus. No worry. I also download the files over there. Many IT technicians recommend this website as well. So therefore, when it comes to your multimedia project, and as you all know that in your on the website, I have posted. Okay, I think I need to share a link for you to submit this project. Okay, will try to do that. Okay, and remember to see if you can embed some audio in your project as background. But I think I would like to recommend something for you. Okay, so you may, because at the end of your project you need to submit me the YouTube link. So therefore, because nowadays YouTube is very strict in monitoring the upload video or audio as well as video with music. So therefore, in order to prevent your video from being blocked by YouTube because of the license copyright violation, and it is better for you to use some license-free music. If you search the license-free music from YouTube, and there are quite a lot of free license music that you can download. You know, okay. So this is something that you can download as the background if you like, so that when you upload your video on YouTube and no copyright violation. Is it okay? So remember this. Okay, maybe I can keep the name here so that you can simply click there and choose the music you like. Okay. And again, this is an interesting thing that we can simply make use of a simple HTML statement that we can call uh, a sound wave to play, or we can call a video to show on the screen. And nowadays, it's quite convenient that we have the HTML tag version 5 that have this tag that can create the video box for us to play any video. You can take a look at this one. Okay. So let me see if I can open this one. So you may notice that the HTML code is quite simple. Okay, we just use this HTML code, and then we can call the files, call the music, and then the video box can be seen in this way. Okay, it's just for sharing because we are talking about hypermedia. You know. This is an obvious example of hypermedia with audio and video. Okay. So let me reload the screen, and I hope you can reload the screen as well, because next week, if you remember, we have the midterm test next week, this one. So let me remind you again with this. Okay? So make sure that you can come next week. Okay, we will have the face-to-face lessons next week, and we will have the midterm test. The midterm test will start sharp at 7 p.m. If you come late, okay, no addition time will be given, and the test will end at 8:30. Okay, so that means you have 1.5 hour, and so if you are SEN, okay, and you want to extend the midterm test duration, please email or WhatsApp me directly. Okay, and then I will have the arrangement with you. Okay, but in general, most of you will start the test. Okay, even those SEN students, and you will start the same time. Okay, 7 p.m. Okay, and then maybe you need to stay a little bit longer for SEN student, but also a student will be given 1.5 hour, and the topics covered will be chapter 1 to chapter 6, and the questions will be like this. You are required to bring along a calculator. Remember to set an alarm in the morning, okay, so that you can put the calculator in your backpack or bag. And remember to prepare an A4 reference paper, both side, or printed handwritten, something like this, so that you have this with you. Remember, the test is closed book. Closed book. That means you cannot open your notes, you cannot see your phone, iPad, laptop, or you cannot open the computer to see the content. Okay, closed book test. Okay. And remember to be punctual. Okay, so even though some students may come late, okay, at 7:30, and the test will end at 8:30. Okay. Some students asked me about is there any more information about the test, and therefore I prepare the mock test PDF here. You can click this one. So this one, we instead, okay, the midterm test insertion into more details, I think. Closed book midterm test, no computer allowed to turn on during the test, and you need to bring along your calculator A4 reference paper. Again, the time is 7 p.m. next week, and then the venue would be the computer lab, and yes, anything you like to include is fine. Okay, so you can put anything on the A4 reference paper, formula, whatever, examples, answer of the question, etc. So remember the time and location. And here comes more mock exam questions for reference. So for the coming midterm test, there will be 3 sessions. ABC, the first session containing 10 questions, 2 marks. And multiple choice, 10 questions, 2 marks. And for short question, we have the 4 questions, 16 marks. And here comes the sample questions. If you answer correctly, and you will have 2 marks. And if you give up, nothing as answer and nothing filled in, 0 mark. But if you answer incorrectly, that means negative, -1. So if you answer the question incorrectly, does it mean that -10? Because there are 10 questions. So if you answer incorrectly for a 10th question, no worry. Okay? If your overall mark is negative, okay, and then it's still 0. Is it okay? So I'm not going to give you minus mark, okay, at the end of this session. So no worry too much, but most of the students will answer correctly with positive mark. And these 2 questions, okay, are copied from the test directly. Okay, so remember the answer. Okay? And we have multiple choice here. Multiple choice questions are also copied directly from the coming midterm test. And there will be the boxes for you to fill in your answer, A, B, C, D. And for short questions, there we have question 1, question 2, just like your assignment. To be honest, your assignment is somehow similar to your midterm test. But these 2 questions are copied directly from your coming midterm test, and then you can try. Okay, but if you don't know how to do, or you want the answer, no worry. Okay, the answer is right below. Okay? So I put all the answer over here so that you can double check. Another important thing is about the assignment 1 answer. So I suppose all of you have already submitted the individual assignment 1. So therefore I will remove it so that you can't reach it anymore. Okay. But instead I have already post the suggested answer there so that you can get well prepared for your midterm test. Because for your midterm test, okay, it's highly related to the mock test as well as the individual assignment 1. So therefore, if you click the suggested answer, and you will know the correct answer for all of this, okay, and how you can come up with the step, okay, to make such an interesting photo. So again, I make use of the Pixlr platform to make this photo. And when it comes to the calculation there, and you can see how to do the calculation. Some students ask me questions about Okay, this part. I think this part is the kind of open questions, and as long as you can provide me your answer with proper justification, and then you will receive the mark. But if you cannot address the question properly, okay, that means you answer the question wrongly, and then you cannot get this 10 mark, you know. So I will check your answer one by one and see what's your response to the second part of the questions. Okay, and take a look at the multiple choice. Okay, and maybe some of the multiple choice will be copied directly for the midterm test. You know. So any questions? 有冇問題？有冇同學有問題？好，咁唔緊要嘅，係啦，咁就So if you suddenly think of something that you want to ask, and you are welcome to send me an email, or you can WhatsApp me, or you can it's better for you to use this two channel because it will be easy for me to respond to you, you know, and because some students want to post the message through Blackboard, and this one would be really slow, you know. So therefore, I would prefer to receive your message by WhatsApp or by email directly. And it doesn't matter if you don't have any questions at the moment, but if you think about something that you want to ask, and you are welcome to ask me in person, okay, privately. Is it okay? And so I suppose all of you had already submitted, okay, so therefore I close it. And I will check your submission, and then I will keep the mark. And when I release the mark, and this link will be released again, you know. And one more things is the lecture materials for tonight. I have some supplementary information for you, and I just copy everything over there in terms of the video there that would be useful to explain to you the core concept for today's lessons. And some students ask me whether you have the tutorial. Yes, but not rush. Take your time to do it at your convenience. So this part is the vector graphics part 2. So in this part, you continue with the exercise, making this kind of buttons again. So it's really, really beautiful. And again, as long as you can make this kind of buttons, and you can put it on the website to use, or you can put it in your mobile app if you want to have your own personal button or icon, okay, for app. Okay, so these are the steps that you can follow and make the beautiful icon, okay, yourself. And take your time and do it at your convenience for the coming 7 days, and see if you can make all of this, okay. So it's not that difficult at all, you know. Take your time and do it. But I think this week coming few days, and you need to prepare your midterm test next week. I will see you next week, okay, face to face, and you can double check with your answer, with this suggested answer, and do the mock test. Okay, so that's all for Good night. Okay. Okay. See you next week. Okay. Bye bye.